All right, it is 3 o'clock. Should we have some more people coming in? All right, are you guys ready to get started? So we are going to be talking about one of our staff. Her name is Mariposa, and she sent me some videos and pictures of her goats and her working dogs, and she also has chickens. She lives on a little farm. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen so you can see some of the stuff, but we're going to start with some yoga. So we're going to start with some goat yoga, which will be kind of fun. So you can look at it or you can try to do it with us, okay? So I'm going to share my screen with you. And hopefully I will make this work right. We'll see. Okay. All right. Can you guys see that? Do you guys see a goat?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So this says, let's start with 5 goat yoga poses. So we're gonna watch this little video and it's gonna tell us a little bit about what goat yoga is, and then we will move through these slides and practice some of them. So we're gonna start with the video and then we'll practice doing some. So you might need a little bit of room. So, but we'll start with this video.
Goats can be so cute and quite funny. So can children. So when they come together for some yoga, it's gotta be fun.
I didn't exactly have breakfast yet, but it's only because I just had to get to goat yoga. Today we are doing goat yoga. So goat yoga is yoga with goats. I'm guessing. I've never done it before, but I've always wanted to. They crawl on you.
They're so tiny.
I'm guessing, well, probably maybe goats walking around while you do yoga, or you do yoga and then after you get to pet a goat.
All right, so we're gonna make a big circle. Can you make a big circle up here? Goat yoga is regular yoga, but we just have little baby goats running all over the place. This kids yoga in itself is just a whole different beast because their attention span is very short. So goat yoga was even more, it's probably harder for me than anyone else just to keep them engaged and moving the entire time. All right, now you're gonna go to crescent lunge. You're gonna take one step back with right foot. There you go, crescent lunge. Good job, guys. The goats are all the babies that have been born in the Animal Learning Center. So some of them are a day old, max of like 3 or 4 days old.
So yoga is when you stretch, like there's different poses, like a tree pose, and yeah. I can't balance.
Goat yoga is just a little bit more lighthearted, whereas regular yoga, it's more intense. You're sweating, you're focusing on things, where this, you're there to have a good time. And goats, because who doesn't love goats? So, and we're gonna shake our leg in the air. Can you shake your leg in the air? Can you close your eyes? Everybody close your eyes. Oh, we got some good skiers in the back.
Do you want to hold it though?
Okay. Reverse warrior extending it up. All right, so I want you to sit down.
I'm most excited for seeing the goat.
Goat yoga at the fair is a completely different beast. It's laid back. I explained it to the adult yoga as you just can't care. It's just like willy-nilly kind of carefree and you just let go. Nice job. All right, we're gonna put our feet together. There isn't anything better that you can do at the fair besides goat yoga, I don't think.
Stop that. All right, who thinks they would enjoy goat yoga? Raise your hand. Who would not enjoy goat yoga? Raise your hand. No? All right, we're gonna try some poses. And we don't have goats, but let's try this pose. This is called child's pose. So you can go down on the floor. This is my favorite yoga pose. It's very relaxing. So go ahead. Yeah, it's good for your back. So you won't be able to see me, but I'm gonna do it real quick. So let's do a child's pose and count to 3, and then we'll come back up, okay? All right. Oh, that feels good. She's stretching. That's 3. Okay. Did that feel good? All right, let's try this yoga pose right here. This is, Devin and I were at yoga last Friday and we did the triangle pose. So the triangle pose is also a way to do a goat hug. So hug a goat. So you can pretend like you're hugging a goat. So let's try triangle. So you get in that position. So you kind of put one foot in front of the other, and then you put your hand up. And usually you put your hand out like you're gonna serve a tray, but this one is like under. So we're gonna hold that. Going ready? Like that. 1, 2, 3. All right, good job. Okay, let's try the next one. This one is called feeding goat. So you're gonna have your knees down, and then you're gonna reach, bend back. Yep, reaching one hand, and other hand is going up. Yep, like you're feeding a goat. So let's go ahead and try that one. That one looks like a good stretch too. You can see Pickle's hand in the air. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Our next pose is called happy goat. So this one, it's almost like butterfly, except for you're upright instead of down. So you're gonna bend your knees and get down really low, and then stretch out in front of you. Okay, so it's called happy goat. Let's try it. I don't know if I can do this one. I can do one with your mom. Okay. All right, don't break the chairs. I'm not going to. All right. All right. All right. Did everyone get that stretch except for the last one? Oh no, there's one more. This one's got a cute video. So this is called the bridge. So it's just like you have your knees on the ground and your arms out in front of you like a bridge. So we can watch this a little bit. Let it go on her back. Oh. Yeah, she's going up into downward dog though. All right, do you guys want to try a bridge real quick? Okay, I'm going to try the bridge. Count to 3. You don't have to if you don't want to. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, now that we've done a little bit of movement, we just wanted to get our bodies moving. We're going to meet Mariposa's goats. Was anyone at camp last year and remembers Mariposa? She was one of the leaders of the Daring Dragonflies. All right, so Mariposa lives on a farm, and here are 2 of her little goats. She has Nigerian dwarf goats. So here are some more pictures of her goats. And her chickens. and she has working dogs that help take care of her animals. Now, her dogs sleep a lot during the daytime because they need to be awake at night to protect the goats and chickens from coyotes. All right, and here's a video that Mariposa put together, so I'm going to play it for you.
This is a Grandy farm. This is one of our 4 fenced areas. That's our guardian dog, Layla, and that is her companion, Fergus. Our other livestock guardian dogs are Anatolian Shepherds. Behind them, that is Indigo, and laying down back there is Riesling, one of our newer goats. This is Piper, Moonbeam, Ava named her. Over in the other adjacent field is our bucks. We have 2 bucks and 1 wether. A wether is a castrated male goat. His name is Kevin. And then this little guy, we name him Elvis, but his real name is Eagle Sky. And then our other guy, the black and white feller, the littler one, his name is Claim to Fame, but we call him Sam I Am. And then over by the water bucket, that's Princess. She's one of our youngest goats. She's a little doeling. Most of our goats are does, or doelings, which are female goats. We only have 2 bucks because it only really takes 1 buck to impregnate a whole herd. On our farm, we have lots of fruit and vegetables. These are just some of our blackberries. We have actually acres of blackberries that we like to pick and make different things. This is one of our newer goats. Her name is Bahari. We have Nigerian dwarf goats. They're called Nigerian dwarf goats because they come from the continent of Africa, from Nigeria. And they're one of the smallest goats there are, but they're dairy goats, meaning the does, after they have babies, they produce milk. And their milk is one of the most quality of all the dairy goat milks because it has a very high percentage of butter fat and cream, and it tastes delicious. Here's our chickens. We have mostly hens. There's our rooster. We don't have names for them really. So our hens produce about 8 to 10 eggs a day in the spring. We have about 20. We used to have more, but some we think have gotten attacked by eagles and taken away. So here's some of our hens left. Feeding area. I feed the dogs here. We have hay for them here. And then they actually get grain in the stall. Here's where we keep the hay. It's 3rd cut hay, so it's very full of nutrients. And the goats prefer it over our field grass. That's Fergus being lazy. There's Layla. Anatolian livestock dogs sleep a lot during the day because they're up at night guarding our animals because we have a lot of coyotes in our woods. So over in front of Fergus, you'll see, or in the back of Fergus, I should say, that's Karma on the left and Princess on the right. There are our youngest does we have right now. And this is Piper, Mahari. Goats can be very entertaining. Jazzy, this black and white doe, she thinks she's a herd queen. This is Willy Wonka. They are still transitioning because Karma, Bahari, Princess, and Riesling are relatively new to our farm. It takes them at least a good month to transition and adjust to each other. So they're trying to kind of fight for pecking order. So there's Piper and Jazzy, they're our friendliest does because they were bottle-fed babies. That means they were fed by a bottle versus nurse. This is where we give our goats water, and we have a brush to clean the buckets because goats are pretty particular about their water. They want it to be clean. So about every other day, we dump this bucket out and the boys' blue bucket over there, and we scrub it out and give them fresh water. And there definitely is a myth about goats eating anything, including boots. They don't eat everything, and there's actually a lot of plants that are toxic for goats, including things like rhododendrons and buttercups. So you have to be careful when you have goats and what access to plants they have. They're good at killing trees though. This tree in the background here, they've eaten all the bark off of it, and we didn't protect it in time, so it's slowly dying. There's Jazzy, Jazella, we call her Jazzy. We also put cider apple vinegar in our water as a kind of probiotic for our goats. We also give them minerals. We add that to their feed so they're healthy, and we worm them regularly, and they get vaccinated regularly as well. I'll take you closer now to the buck farm.
I can hear the rooster. So I'm going to pause it for just a second. I'm going to try to. So there was another video Mariposa made, but I wasn't able to get it on here. So I'm going to try and get it so we can watch it as soon as this is done. But these are some of the pictures. Oops. Oh, I guess I skipped it. I guess I can't. I ended it with some of the pictures. So let me see if I can skip ahead and get to those pictures. Let me see.
And end up. Killer dendrons and buck. We also, for our goats, we also we add that, worm them regularly as well. I'll take you closer now to the buck farm.
All right, so here are the pictures that Mariposa sent of her dogs working with the goats. And her chickens. All right, great. All right. I tried to put the video here. Oh, it says it can't be played. So hold on. I put it on my desktop as well. So let's see. Can you guys see this video? Can you see it or no? No?
Yeah.
You can? Okay.
So this is our buck area.
Can you hear it?
That's our water bucket and their feeding area over here. We still have to get a hay.
All right, I'm going to pause it. The video doesn't play very well, but the information is good information. So just you guys can listen to it, okay?
Here over here, the girls are thinking I'm going to feed them, so they're being loud. There's Riesling, our mama goat, to Karma. That's her baby on the right. That's Bahari and Princess, Piper and Jazzy. These two goats, I have a hard time telling apart because they look so similar. But this one in the forefront, that's Willy Wonka, and this is Indigo. The big hole in the field is from Fergus. He likes to dig holes when he gets bored. But he was a good boy last night and was protecting and guarding, and so he's tired right now. So our buck area is stinky, smells like goat cheese, because this guy right here, claim to fame, he was born in February, and he is quite right. Bucks are very stinky because of the testosterone, and he'll be ready to mate with some of these does that are fully grown in a few months. so we can have doelings and bucklings in the spring. This guy right here, Elvis, he was raised by he was dam raised by his mother. So he was not bottle raised, so he's not very friendly. So we kind of don't get a lot of pets in. But Kevin, our Weather, who's our biggest goat, he's very friendly and loving. So it's claim to fame, which I would say is our sire. He's ready to breed. He's very interested in our females, as you can see. And the females are interested in him as well. So we keep our does and our bucks separated because we don't want any breeding to go on that we are not aware of. We want to make sure that all of our goats are registered, except for Kevin. So we want to make sure that when we register the babies, we know who the dam is and who the sire is, which means mom and dad of the babies. And we want to plan the breedings as well. And we don't want to breed our babies too early. Like Bahari and Princess are not fully ready to be mamas. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Nigerian dwarf goats. And if you have any questions, please contact me, Mariposa, or Anna Arnold Grindy, or my daughter, Ava Arnold Gillis, who is part of Troop 40344, would be happy to answer your questions. Thanks.
Okay. I'm going to head back to. All right. So if anyone knows Mariposa, when we get to the end, I told her I would ask for your questions and write them down, and then maybe she can join us at some point. But she's not available right now, but she can answer questions you have about the animals on the farm. But I thought we would take a little bit of time and learn a little bit more about goats. These are not Mariposa's goats, but they are very cute. So here we go.
Farm sanctuary has 5 goats. They all were rescued from slaughter, and we've learned a great deal from them. One day we had to take Isadora to the hospital. Duncan became very upset and tried to find her. We expected Duncan to be very upset because he and Isadora are very deeply bonded. They became bonded when they made their daring escape from slaughter and spent 2 days escaping the authorities on the Hutchinson River Parkway. But what surprised us was how upset Basil became. Basil is the brown goat here. She's crying away. Basil cares a lot about others. She's sort of like the matriarch, I think. The goat's behavior sort of reminds me about what Darwin said about human morality. He didn't think that humans just invented moral behavior out of the blue on our own. It came from our ancestors living in groups and caring about each other. The goats obviously care about each other. They're relatives of ours from the same ancestors. Now Isadora and Duncan are back together again, playing as usual. Scientists debate whether animals can imitate. I often would give Maddie a rub on the neck, and one day I was surprised to see Boomer come over and rub Maddie in exactly the same spot in the neck. I've never seen him do that before. I've never seen any of the other goats rub another goat exactly in that spot. It looked like an imitation. Also, while I'm working in the pasture, I often dig out weeds. On another day, Basil went over and started digging out weeds. And then Duncan did that too. They sure did look like invitations to me. The turkeys adopted the central aisle of the barn as their home, and one of the goats that was often in the central aisle was Basil. We became very worried because the goat could ram a turkey right into the wall and really hurt it. But Basil showed great restraint. You might say that Basil demonstrated magnanimity, one of the qualities that Darwin said that animals share with humans.
All right. Did you know that goats really missed each other when their buddy goats are gone? I didn't know that.
No.
No,
I didn't.
Quick question.
Sure.
I was just curious, are goats omnivores?
Goats are omnivores. They do eat plants. Yes.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if they were omnivores or herbivores.
Is omnivores? No, herbivores is when they eat just plants, but omnivores is what they eat meat and plants, right? I believe that goats are just herbivores. I think that is true, but maybe Miss Piggy can look that up for us. I'm not sure. I am not really a goat expert, but I am just sharing all the information from Mariposa and a few other things for you, okay?
Just what is a farm dog? A worker? A farmer's companion?
He is spoiled.
It depends on who you ask. Cute, fluffy puppies roam the grounds of Wagon Wheel Ranch in Howard County, but these dogs aren't pets. They're bodyguards.
Poultry is extremely vulnerable to predators. We have to worry about them coming out of the sky, a hawk coming down to get the chicken. The barking dog usually keeps them away.
Farmer Brian Shiner raises his chickens, sheep, and goats free range. But that freedom comes with some risks.
Of course, everything wants to get to the eggs. Snakes want to get to the eggs, foxes want to get to the eggs, raccoons want to get to the eggs, skunks want to get to the eggs. So that dog keeps all those out, or if they do get in, kills the animal.
And that's why the role of guard dog is so essential here. Visit during the day, there he is, relaxing in the sun. But they're not lazy. This is just their downtime. These protective pups are on the clock when the rest of us are sleeping.
One thing is that they're more nocturnal animals because the predators come out at night. So they spend most of the day sleeping and most of the night barking.
Raising a puppy to be an employee requires a different approach than raising the family dog, a strategy that's pretty hands-off.
A human can't train the dogs. The dogs are trained by other dogs.
The dogs are born in the pasture, and from their earliest days, they're surrounded by lambs and goats to help them get comfortable with the animals they'll be guarding.
At 10 weeks, they're taken from their mother and they're put into the field with chickens. And we have a really good dog in there that shows them what to do.
As the puppies grow, they rotate through various fields, learning to protect different animals. It takes about a year before the puppies are trained and ready to start work. But not all working farm dogs go through an intense training process.
We have two Pomeranians that are my daughter's dogs, and we accidentally discovered one day that their natural instinct is to herd.
Over at Springfield Farm in Baltimore County, Valerie Lafferty was dealing with a few dozen escaped chickens when she realized her dogs had some untapped talent.
And the dogs happened to be outside with us, and they ran at the birds and started barking, and we weren't quite sure if they were going to harm the birds, and it turns out that they were just encouraging the birds to go where we were trying to get them to go.
With a little extra training, these girls now know when it's time to snap into action.
By saying the word work, and they know they're supposed to go out and chase the chickens back into their fence or back into their building. So it was quite by accident that this happened, but it's been a great benefit to us to help get the chickens back in where they're supposed to be.
Over in Carroll County, 4 furry residents of Ship's Quarters Farm have job titles that are more honorary than official.
Some supervise my lessons, some like to teach,
Donna Ruth says her 16-year-old Jack Russell Terrier Panda is the supervisor. He and the rest of the dogs are well-known fixtures at our Westminster Horse Farm, a place that sees dozens of riders a week for lessons.
Come on, everybody out. They're a big part of everybody's life here, both the horses, the clients, and definitely mine. I'm never anywhere that if you look, one of the dogs isn't close by.
Maybe the best way to recognize a farm dog is to catch him after a long day's work.
When they go in at night, they're like most farmers, they're exhausted and they just all crash.
All right, that video is all right. And I have one that's just for fun, if you guys want to see it. These are fainting goats. Have you guys ever heard of fainting goats?
I haven't.
Yeah? You know what fainting is?
Yeah. So you like don't.
So I'm going to play this and we're going to see what these goats do, okay? This one's pretty short.
Most of the animals on this petting farm on Maui, Hawaii are sweet, but nothing too unusual. And then there are the goats. Iotonic goats, to be specific. More commonly known as stiff-leg goats, wooden-leg, nervous goats, fainting goats. Fainting goats are indigenous to North America, but that name is a bit of a misnomer because they never lose consciousness when they keel over. If they're startled, a genetic condition causes their muscles to lock up, but it only lasts a few moments and then they're back on their feet. Now let's build the next time.
Isn't that funny?
Yes, it was.
All right, Miss Shamrock made this for our camp staff, and so I wanted to ask you guys to look at these goats and use your hands and tell me which number goat tells me how you're feeling right now. Are you a number 1, a number 2, 3, 4, 5? What's your age? I feel see if you remember the sign language. I'm gonna do mine like this.
Dogs.
Ooh.
After the goats and dogs.
All right, very fun, guys. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. That's the end of my goat videos. Does anyone have any questions that they would like me to ask Mariposa about her goats? I see Pooh Bear's hand up. Pooh Bear, can you unmute and tell me?
Basically, what happened? Like, if somehow the boy, like instead of keeping them apart, something happened, so they would.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Pooh Bear. Can we get everyone else to mute and then we can try to hear Pooh Bear's question?
Mom, mute.
Okay, Pooh Bear, can you ask me one more time?
So what happened to the boys was that the boys and the girls came together on accident.
So are you asking what happens if the boys and girls goats come together by accident? Is that your question?
What would she do?
They would have to separate them because when the boy goats and girl goats come together, they might have baby goats, but on their farm, they want to be able to plan for when those baby goats are going to be born. So they don't put them together unless it's a planned thing.
Yes, but my question is basically what happened if they came together.
So you want to know what would Mariposa do if that happens? That's your question? Okay, I will ask her that.
Excuse me, Pickle?
Yes?
Well, I was doing yoga. I wasn't doing regular yoga. Instead, I was doing dog yoga because my dog's out here right now.
Oh, very nice. Very good. I'm wondering, I see Imagine. Is it Imagine that's got her hand up? Or is it Dragon? Is it Dragon? Okay. Thank you for raising your hand. Do you have a question for me to ask Mariposa about goats or a comment?
No, but just so you know, I chose 7 and I chose number 7 for it. And the fainting goat video was really funny.
I think it's pretty funny. There are also
the fainting goat video was so funny.
Yeah. There are some singing goat videos that are pretty funny too. So, all right, I see Toko. How do you say your name, Toko? Mayana?
So, I have a question.
Sure.
So, my question is, how did they get the names for the goats?
That is a really good question. I will ask that. Okay, any other questions? I feel like someone else had their hand up before. Maybe they had the same question. Oh, I see Marshy's hand up. Oh, you need to unmute, Marshy.
When are we getting off?
When are you all done? Is that your question? You can leave whenever you feel like it. You can just go hit that button in the corner. When you feel done, you can say bye.
I'll just put it in the chat when we're leaving.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks for asking. Okay, yes, Dragon.
We had a thunderstorm last night.
Very cool. We did too.
Oh, you must have had the same one.
Maybe. You're kind of far away from me though, so maybe it traveled from you to us. Or
My brother, he said that it read really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
When we just ended the show we were watching, it just started. We heard like boom, and then like when my mom and my dad went out to go get the stuff outside from our bed last night, the night before.
So who else had thunder and lightning at their house last night? Raise your hand if you saw storms too. What do you think the goats do when they see storms?
I don't know.
I don't either. Should we ask Mariposa how her goats handled that?
Yeah. Yes.
Curious. I know my dog does not like storms.
I think I don't know, but it's just the idea that the goats like basically run around crazy.
Yeah, my dog doesn't care if he has to go outside during a storm. I don't know if he cares or he doesn't, because most of the time he goes outside just to do one thing. But if he doesn't want to go outside, he just doesn't go outside. But most of the time when we're outside, he's outside.
I see Toko with her hands up.
Okay. Hey, Toko.
I think I might know what they do.
Oh, tell us.
I think they might run inside their pen or whatever they sleep in to try and get sheltered from the rain or make loud noises.
I think that is a good guess. Do you think the fainting goat faint when it starts having thunder?
Boom! Like,
that would be hard to run back inside. All right, Brave Bear, did you just have your hand on your head or were you raising your hand?
I had it on my head.
Okay.
Oh no, the goat's rocking the screen.
Well, that is all the information I had for us today. So if there are no more questions, I can say goodbye and good night, and we will see you in the morning. And if you are my Unit 1 friends or even Unit 2 friends, if you make a flag for our unit, that would be so cool to see. I would love that.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. You guys had a great first day of Camp in a Box.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.